The Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra kicks off their summer season this Wednesday and Thursday night at Westminster United Church with a performance of Vivaldi's Four Seasons featuring the incomparable Carl Stobbe. While also on the program is Bohuslav Martinů's Concerto for Oboe, which will feature Principal WSO Oboist Beverly Wang. And it is my pleasure to welcome her to Classic 107 for the first time. Welcome, Beverly.
Thank you, Claudia. Thanks so much for having me here.
So Beverly, welcome to Classic 107. You've been with the WSO for 5 years now.
Yes.
Where did you come from before then?
I was still in school in Philadelphia at Curtis Institute, and I was just finishing my bachelor degree.
So what's the process? I know we get in a lot of artists into Classic 107 studio, and we also have a lot of music students that listen to us. I've always been curious, can you tell us a bit about what the process is like of getting hired into an orchestra?
Yes. Well, you have to hand in your resume, just like any other jobs, and they will review that, and then some orchestras, they will ask for a recording prior to their invitation of live audition. But in this case, I just flew here from Ottawa. I was in Ottawa at the time. And basically the process is you have to go through a preliminary round and also semifinals and then final round. And after that, they might choose one or two people from those rounds, and they will most likely offer either one person or both of them to do a 1 to 2 week trial weeks. And
just to see how you fit in, kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. For sure. And then after that, sometimes they might actually not hire anybody from that. And if someone actually gets hired, they will have to go through another 1.5 tenure review period. Then you're actually getting the actual job. You're safe for the rest of your career, pretty much.
Well, congratulations then.
Thank you so much.
So what has the 5 years been like for you?
It was definitely a big adjustment for my part. Like, I have to be apart from my family. I have family back in Toronto, and my dad is in LA. So I think that's probably been the most difficult part of playing here. But I love doing, like, I love my job, and I just like the feeling of every day I wake up and have to like show up at the concert hall, and it doesn't really feel like
work.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the best possible thing that you can say about what you do. I always say to my daughter, my 12-year-old, whatever you decide to do, just pick something that you love, no matter what it is, so that every day when you go to work,
you don't feel like you're at work.
Exactly. That's how I feel about this job.
And
so
yeah, making music just makes me so happy to like produce music, and people, because it's such a universal language. Like, I feel like people would really get emotional and personal.
Absolutely. So you've been playing the oboe since you were 8?
Yes.
Why the oboe?
It wasn't my first choice.
What was?
The trumpet.
Really?
Yeah. I actually started with piano I started playing when I was 4 or 5, I believe. And I auditioned for this music school back in Taiwan. And everyone there needed to pick another instrument other than piano as a secondary instrument. So there is like a student at the time. They play all different kinds of instrument, and
so they have like a quota that they want to fill for each instrument.
Yeah, and they basically like show us like what instruments sound like, and then you can pick your pick.
Nice.
And by the time I like heard the trumpet, I was like, oh man, like that is so beautiful. It played so beautifully. It was melodic, it was soft, and I told my mom, this is the instrument that I want to play. And when my dad found out that I pick the trumpet, he was like, no. There's no way you're playing this, because at the time we still live in an apartment complex. So, so what was left was the bassoon. So we went, and we didn't even know like what the bassoon was at the time. So we went to the shop and we looked at the instrument, and we all just surprised at how beautiful the instrument is and how large it is. Yes. And my dad's like, no, you're not playing this either, because I'm not carrying that instrument and walking up 5 stairs of stairs. Yeah. So oboe was the only thing that was left, and no one knew what an oboe was, but it kind of looked like a clarinet at the time, and my cousin actually played the clarinet, so my parents are like, okay, you're playing this. So I was stuck with the oboe.
But you fell in love with it, obviously.
Yes, I did.
It is a beautiful instrument. I have to say, of my list of favorite instruments, the oboe is right up there. It's just such a beautiful sound. So as you began playing the oboe, what was it about it that you fell in love with?
The sound, obviously. I think it's piercing, but at the same time, it has that soft quality in there. And it's all the composers, they put all the most lyrical, the most sad, beautiful solo lines for this instrument. And the fact that we get to tune the orchestra, because we're supposedly to be the most in tune instrument out of all.
Okay, I did not know that. Yeah. So, because growing up going in band, high school, it's always the flutes that the orchestra tuned to.
Flute in middle school band as well. They didn't have an oboe there.
No, you don't see a lot of oboe in band. Oh, nice. Well, you're a woman after my own heart. You like that melancholy, sad, that music, that just the angst, that kind of music. Well, let's talk about this week's concert, this oboe concerto. Who decided to include that in the program, and why this particular concerto?
I suggested this piece because obviously Mozart and my predecessor played the Strauss 5 years ago, so I suggested Mozart and Vaughan Williams, but I put Martinů as first on my list because I don't think it's played enough, and I definitely believe it deserves a lot more audience, and people should really get to know this piece. I think it's a very well written harmonically, and it's just a very challenging, both musically and technically, for the oboe player. And I just thought it would be a great opportunity to challenge myself, and I have never played this. And when I heard the second movement, I just thought it really touched me. And it's I think because I heard how beautiful the second movement was, that really made me decide I'm going to do my best to try to perform this piece to everybody and introduce it to everyone.
I love that. First of all, because what a challenge for you, having never played it before. And I love how you picked it. I have to admit, I was not familiar at all with this work. Not that that's saying anything, but I really look forward to hearing it. So what's been the process? What's the process been like for you practicing this piece?
Just very, very slowly with the metronome, because Martinů, it's a very neoclassical music, and it was written in 1955, and there are just a lot of syncopated passages that they're so surprising. It's not predictable at all. So you really need to just play every single day practicing with the metronome, so you don't get thrown out by the orchestra, and you just really need to know your part.
Are you listening, music students? Why is the metronome so important? This is why. You guys are performing at Westminster for this particular concert. Does that change anything for you guys in terms of the sound, how you sit, how?
Yes. It's smaller, but smaller than the hall. And I have always enjoy playing in churches in comparison to halls, because it just acoustically, I think it would really be perfect for this piece. And obviously the Four Seasons would be just, it's like perfect for this venue. And yeah, I just think there's so many parts that are so elegant and soft. I feel like I don't really have to try to project more than I really need to at the hall. Because
Right.
at the hall I feel like sometimes you got to play more than you really have to for the people at the back row of
Right.
the second tier to hear you. But I feel like it will be more intimate, and it's perfect for this piece.
Wonderful. Well, Beverly, it's been so nice meeting you, and I'm sorry it's taken this long to get you into the studio. What a great opportunity to have you here. You're going to play a little bit for us. What are you going to play?
I will play the end of the second movement.
Okay. Whenever you are ready. Wow, that is so haunting. Oh, that is gorgeous. Thank you so much, Beverly. I really look forward, and I'm sure everyone does look forward to hearing it with the orchestra and along with Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Beverly Wang is the principal oboe player for the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. She is performing Martinú's oboe concerto this Wednesday and Thursday night as part of the WSO's summer season kickoff. Carl Stobie will be performing Vivaldi's Four Seasons in full. That's Wednesday and Thursday night at Westminster United Church. There will be a pre-concert chat both night, which start at 6:45. Showtime is 7:30, and for tickets, all you have to do is go to WSO.ca, or you can call their box office at 204-949-3999.